It's a good bounce back win for us today. I thought we started the game with the right tone on the defensive end. And so that was that was
just stopped. After months of tension, subtle jabs in interviews, and the most controversial roster snub in recent sports history, the unthinkable has happened. Team USA didn't just quietly add Caitlin Clark to its training camp roster. They handed her the keys to the entire program. In a move that has stunned analysts, former players, and millions of fans, the same coaching staff that once insisted she wasn't ready has now officially named her Team USA's captain. But if you think this is some feel-good redemption arc, look closer. The real story isn't the title she received. It's the strange, icy, pressure-filled way it all happened, and who forced it. There was no press release, no hype video, no unified message from the veterans welcoming her in. Instead, it came directly from the head coach during a tense, awkward media availability described by witnesses as cold and surreal. The coach stared into the cameras, stone-faced, and announced Caitlin as the leader of the program. No smile, no warmth, just obligation. This is the same coach who spent last year preaching about chemistry, experience, and paying dues. Yet now, suddenly, she's passing the torch without warning. It didn't feel like pride. It felt like pressure. And judging by Caitlin's stunned expression in the background, wide eyes, stiff posture, she was just as blindsided as everyone else. This wasn't a promotion. It looked like a surrender. And that's why we need to talk about what happened behind closed doors in the 48 hours before this announcement. Because when the people who tried to keep you out suddenly crown you the face of the program, you have to ask, is this a victory or a setup? To understand how shocking this moment is, you have to rewind to 2024, the year a line was drawn in the sand. Leaving Caitlin off the Olympic roster wasn't treated like a simple basketball decision. It became a cultural battlefield. Critics claimed she was too young, too inexperienced, too small for international play. But the loudest argument came down to one word: chemistry. The veterans, we were told, had a system that couldn't be disrupted, no matter how big Caitlin's star became. Fans exploded. Pundits went to war. The internet erupted. But the coaching staff held their ground, won gold, and stood on the podium acting vindicated. Their message was clear: the system works, and no player is bigger than Team USA. So what changed? How does someone go from "she disrupts our chemistry" to "she is our captain" in just 18 months? Did Caitlin magically gain a decade of experience? Did the veterans suddenly step aside? Of course not. The basketball didn't change. The leverage did. And when you follow the money, the truth becomes obvious. The WNBA exploded the moment Caitlin arrived. Record ratings, sold-out arenas, historic merchandise sales. But Team USA? Outside the Olympics, interest was flat. Executives at networks and major sponsors reportedly delivered a blunt message: make Caitlin the face of the team now, or lose funding and primetime visibility. Insiders say the coach's announcement wasn't her idea at all. It was a corporate mandate. That explains the awkward body language and the lifeless delivery. She wasn't promoting her star player. She was reading orders from the people who pay the bills. They needed her magnetism. They needed the Caitlin Clark effect. But this is where things get darker. Rumors say the coach privately called Caitlin into her office 24 hours earlier. Not to correct her, not to congratulate her, but to ask for help. To admit the obvious: the rest of the world is catching up. The veterans are aging. The program is losing momentum. They need Caitlin's star power to keep them alive. Imagine that shift. The same person who embarrassed you publicly now begging you to save the program. Caitlin didn't ask to be captain. She didn't demand it. It was handed to her like a burden, not an honor. And now the locker room has erupted. Team USA has always had a strict hierarchy, veterans first. But now the player they once tried to freeze out, the outsider they dismissed, has been made their leader. The result? Silent group chats. No congratulations from senior stars. No show of unity. Just tension, deep resentment, a fracture between the old guard and the new era. And Caitlin knows exactly what she stepped into. When she got that text to meet the coach, she thought she was being punished, maybe even cut. Instead, she was handed the captaincy and a target on her back. If chemistry fails, they'll blame her. If a veteran revolts, it's her fault. If they lose a game, the headlines write themselves. This is the glass cliff, a leadership role given at the moment of crisis, so the person who inherits it takes the fall. If she succeeds, the coach looks smart. If she fails, the establishment gets to say, "See, we were right." The action is explosive. Clark fans see this as justice, proof that the old guard finally had to bow. Traditionalists see it as the destruction of the culture they built. It's chaos, drama, engagement fuel, and ironically, it's exactly what the networks wanted. Because the truth is simple, they didn't care if people were happy. They just needed people talking. The press conference said it all. No eye contact, no smiles, no veterans present, just Caitlin and the coach, isolated, standing together but miles apart. Next week, training camp begins. And now the real story begins. Will the veterans listen to her? Will they pass her the ball? Will practice become a battlefield? Every clip will be analyzed. Every high five or missed one will become a headline. Caitlin can handle pressure. She's proven that. But leading people who might want you to fail? That's a different kind of fight. This decision isn't just about Team USA. It's about the future of the entire women's basketball landscape. The hierarchy is shifting. The old rules are gone. And Caitlin Clark, 23 years old, is now standing at the center of a storm. This could be the dawn of a new golden era, or the moment everything explodes.